Hello everybody, my name is Aceface. It's time for the Crimson Harvest event, the Halloween event of Hivaa Online. This is a really good time to log in, or at least if you're not even interested in the event, I would still recommend logging in just out of pure profitability, because this is a very profitable event, you could say. This is an event where you have different sites, so you have Tetramon sites and Crimson Harvest sites, and you can choose a side in the agency tab, and depending on which side you choose, you can earn progress towards rewards. And these rewards then they can make it so that you can get different skins. So I've chosen to fight for Blood Raiders, so when I do Tetramon sides, I kill Tetramon guys, then I'm going to earn progress towards this. But you can do any side, doesn't matter which side you choose, but you only earn progress towards the one based on the side you do. The Tetramon, you can say they're people fighting the Blood Raiders. The Blood Raiders, they're evil pirates who want to harvest the blood of clones, so they really love blood for some reason. And the Tetramon, they want to sort of combat these guys. So you get different skins. I'm very excited for the skins we can get here, because I love these Iron Blood skins. This is something that I think looks so cool. The Paladin Iron Blood skin, oof, this looks so cool. Prophecy, Curse, this is the Prophecy Navy issue, in fact. Pontifex, Coercer, Retribution. Oh, Retribution? This is cool. Yeah, you get really cool skins, and I really hope I'll be able to manage to get 900 points, because the 900 points is going to take a bit of time, but I'm planning on getting there. I got 120 the first day. We're using a Rattlesnake to do this, and these sites are very profitable. Now, what I mean by this is that the first boss I destroyed in one of these sites gave me 111 of these. Look how much they're worth, 105 million ISK. And if you go on the sell or buy orders, this is like a correct price. It's not like an inflated price or anything like that. So I got 100 million ISK from the first boss. And then the other two bosses, I got these 20 million ISK. So it was not as much. So probably it varies. Maybe this was just an extremely lucky one. This is probably more like the norm. But this is what I got from the first one. I was really surprised about that. And another reason why you would want to log in right now, or at least just harvest these campaign rewards in the Crimson Harvest, is because you get quite a bit of skill points. If we look here, you get 25 and 10k at the first day, and then the last day 100k and 50k skill points. So this is a really good time to log in just to claim these rewards and do a few sites if you can be bothered to do that. Me personally, I think that these sites in Isaac are really fun, because I love the aspect of competition and using battleships as competition, because you're able to use battleships in these kind of events. There's no limit, as far as I understand, on events on these sites. I'm using a Rattlesnake. We're going to find sites by looking in the Combat Anomalies tab, because we can see what site is one jump out. Now, we're not going to do Crimson Harvest sites, because I only want to do Tetramon sites, because I want to earn progress towards these challenges. Now, I can do the Crimson Harvest sites, and I can get the rewards, the loot from the bosses in the Crimson Harvest sites as well. The reason I just want to do the Tetramon sites is because I want to use my time efficiently to be able to get that progress here as quick as possible, because this is only a limited time event until the 1st of November, so this is not going to be something that you can just do forever. So you want to get this while you can, and usually these kinds of skins that you get, they're not usually going to be able to be achieved through the shop or anything like that. So these are usually going to be the only way to get skins, because I, for example, event a couple of years ago, got a Serpentis skin for my Macarial through some I think it was the Angel event in February, and it's still not being released. So these skins that you get from events, you really want to, if you like them, you should really try getting them, because there's very unlikely going to be another way to get them. The skins for the Tetramon site, if you fight for Tetramon instead, if you fight for Blood Raiders, the skins you get for fighting for Tetramon, if we go here, Paladin, we can see the skins we get for Tetramon. I think that it's these Order of Tetramon. I can't really see, because I can only see what skins I get for the Blood Raiders, because I'm fighting for Blood Raiders, but this makes sense that we get the Order of Tetramon skins. So it depends on what skins you like. You have to research about the skins you can get, but I'm pretty sure it's those skins. But at least if you want to get the Iron Blood skins, or you're a big fan of Iron Blood skins, fight for the Blood Raiders. Okay, we want to look on Exploration, Combat Anomalies. I just want to keep going. Oh, there's only low sec systems here, unfortunately. fit we're using is a passive fit Rattlesnake that is really powerful in terms of its EHP. There's a particular reason for this that I'm going with a lot of EHPs, because right now we've got 90% PvP loot drops. It means that 90% of the modules on your ship are going to drop in the case of a ship fatality. And this means that usually when you die in EVA Online, a module in your ship is 50-50 chance, drop, no drop, drop, no drop. So my Pithum Multispectrum Shield Hardener, 50% chance usually it'll drop or not drop when I die. Now it's 90%. It means that I will have a tendency to drop more modules. This means that gankers will have a lot higher profitability to be able to gank me, because they would, generally speaking, be earning more by ganking people. So I'm going with an extra buffer style fit. Let's see, the 599k EHP. I go around with this ship with torpedoes. Torpedoes seem to be working pretty decently in these sites. WD to close the gap, and a medium remote shield booster to be able to boost my gecko's shields, because I'm going to use the big gecko in these sites. When you're fighting for Blood Raiders, or fighting against Blood Raiders, I mean, you usually just have to go with EM, I believe. But when it comes to Tetrimon, it feels a bit mixed, but Kinetic seems to be pretty good to do, at least. Okay, I can go in Encounters and maybe Exploration and Combat Anomalies. No, I can't find anything that is one jump away. The thing is, when you're looking at this tab, you can see anything that's one jump away. There's no systems with anomalies that one jump away, because the thing is, when you're doing this near Jita, we're deployed quite close to Jita, there's not going to be any good sites. But if we go just a few jumps out of Jita, it should be alright, because yesterday, the day of the event, yesterday for me was the first day of the event, and I was just a few jumps out of Jita, not so many, 2-3 jumps out of Jita, and I was able to find quite a few sites. And it was like prime time as well. There was a lot of people online. I don't think it was real maximum prime time, but there was a lot of people online. Okay, go for the Urlan system. It's good to just check every system, to be honest, because you can never know what kind of adjacent system you can have. You can see what kind of anomaly, because it is Garista's Hideaway, but they could also be Tetrimon based there. Jump to Gistum.
Warpdrive active.
And pass Gistum. There's nothing here. Very few sites. Usually I'm able to find more sites than this. Also got these boosters from the sites, and also these cerebral accelerators. Cerebral precision booster. This improves optimal range and tracking speed. So these can be good for abyss sites, perhaps. And also some cold iron skins as well. Oh, the Rattlesnake takes so long to jump. Battleships in general are very slow warpers, but it feels like it takes forever when you got a slightly longer jump, like 80 AU or something like that. It's like, oh, we just get out and warp any day now. Junigaiji system that is close to high gag system. Atomo Crimson Harvest. We got Crimson Harvest, but we do not have any Tetrimon sites. We need to find Tetrimon. Now I'm just doing a random route in high sectors so that I can pass as many systems as possible, so that I can potentially find an adjacent system that has some Tetrimon sites in. Nothing. Another Crimson Gauntlet. Basically, only Crimson Gauntlets. It could be that more people are doing the Tetrimon sites because they want to progress towards that skin line. It could also just be a complete coincidence, because yesterday I found more Tetrimon sites than Crimson Harvest sites. Yuridama, a Gank Haven. I want to be a little bit careful here. Use our multi-spectrums. Yeah, Tetrimon base in Sivala. Let's go. Hopefully no one takes it. I think you can get these gate keys somehow that can make you do the site a bit quicker as well. But if you don't have a key, then you have to do the site a bit slower. Like, you have to take a different acceleration gate. It makes so that the site goes a bit slower, because you have to find more enemies before the boss. Sivala is also a more ganking system, so we also have to be slightly careful there. But hopefully we'll be able to get through it pretty smoothly because of the sheer buffer on our Rattlesnake. Ooh. Ooh, there are some gankers over here. Oh no, someone's been ganked. Wreck of Caldari Destroyer wreck. No, that's not him. That's what I'm saying. People get ganked. Not uncommon. Could check in the T-scan, see if anyone's there, because if other people are there, it's going to be also a bit harder to do it. We could maybe steal the site though. I'm one who likes to steal sites. I mean, I know it's douchey, but I think it improves it makes the whole experience a bit more fun, because when people are trying to steal sites from each other, you're trying to compete for the loot. Okay, so we've got basically these guys, these Tetramon guys, the only people we're going to fight. So it seems like kinetic is the lowest resist, but okay, explosive then. But some of them seem to have lower kinetic, like this guy, he's got even lower thermal, so I'm not really sure what kind of resist profile to use. Okay, let's lock up these guys. I've got the gecko. I should also lock up the gecko. The reason I've got this also remote shield boost is not just because, you know, I said before that you should remote shield boost your gecko, but there's a particular reason, because drone aggro in these sites is very high. Very, very high. And a ship that you have to watch out, at least when you're using big drones. I'm not sure if there's going to be a problem with the small drones, because I don't think I'll be able to hit them. But the oracles, they can spawn in oracles here. The oracles love to hit your drone. My gecko, at least, has taken big beatings from oracles, and it hits hard. So this guy has gone into armor multiple times. Even with my shield booster, it's gone into armor. And these oracles, they're very quick to take out. We take them out very quickly, but still, the oracles, they love to eat my drones for some reason, and they do tons of damage, and they apply usually really good as well. So just keep in mind the drone aggro. Preferably do not use mutated drones here, because they could potentially get popped, and you don't want that to happen when you've got oracles who are going to eat them alive. And you just suddenly lose 200 million ISK from absolute nowhere. Okay, grab this Tetramon curse. I'm making my way towards the inactive acceleration gate, because there's this active one here, but this is secure shortcut gate key, and this secure shortcut requires a gate key to be able to go through. Even though we're using the rage torpedoes, it still applies somewhat okay to the little frigates, just because of how much pure damage we have. Come on, take him out. Come on, gecko. Oh, the gecko is... this crucifier is going really far away. We're going to have to use our missiles on these other crucifiers, because they're not going to be able to be hit. Why is the gecko not able to hit this guy? Oh, we one-shot him. Whoa. That's impressive. We did a decent amount of damage with the rage torpedoes. 300 damage versus the full application being 9,000, but it feels still like a decent amount of damage, just because of how big each volley is. It feels like we're doing substantial damage, even though we're not really. Okay, destroyed. Reload. And we'll recall the gecko as well, because we're going to go through this acceleration game. There we go. Recalled. Let's go. I see we're hard to take any damage, but just because of how much HP we have. Such a big buffer. Passive recharge is 200 HP per second, but just the sheer amount of buffer makes it that we hardly budge at all in terms of our shield. Cool structures we've got here. And then I just make my way towards the next gate as well. I don't even need to use my MWD. I just use the MWD in terms of the bosses, and if stuff has already been destroyed previously, then I can at least rush towards the next gate with an MWD. Another ship that I think that would be very good in these kind of sites is a Barghest, actually. Barghest would probably do good, because you could use high damage missiles and put a lot of application modules to go really fast between these sites. Because it's a very fast ship as well, you should be able to move in these gates. It's a very good, like, a stealing ship, I think. You can just cruise through the gates very quickly if someone's already doing it, just steal it like that. An evil ship, but I think it would work pretty well. Rattlesnake is slow and tanky, but reliable. The reason it's also slow is because drones and these missiles are slow. Missiles take a long time to hit, they need to travel. Barghest missiles, they're actually a bonus so that they travel faster. The drones, they don't travel so fast, so they take a bit of time to reach the target as well. It's not like an optimal competition ship to be able to compete against other people, but it still does a ton of damage, so it can still compete, quite a few of them. It is also just overall really tanky, so it's very relaxing to use. So even though there's a lot of gankers or gankers out and about, we still have pretty easy time facing. We can still have a relatively chilled time doing these sites. Now, it doesn't mean we can't get ganked. We're not gank proof. Nothing is gank proof in Hivaa Online, but I feel like the amount of effort required to gank us is pretty high, so it deters the smaller gank fleet. So at least if someone tries to gank us, it's going to be more likely that we will survive. So you have more waves that spawn in it as well. It's not just the first gate seems to be just one wave, but then the second one seems to be on multiple waves. I noticed that the ambience here is very similar to how it is in the dark sides, actually. You can hear some of these Amar Station ambiences, but you can also hear some of the ambience that is very similar to how it is in the Abyss. Just noticed that I recognize that from somewhere. Oh, it's the dark side. I've got a video on my channel. If you type Abyss Dark Ambience, you'll see what I mean. I made an ambience video for the different Abyss weather effects. So electrocite, dark, firestorm. Check the dark one, it'll sound very similar to how it does in the background here. Now I don't need to use my shield booster because he's not taking damage, I'm just wasting capacitor. Let's go to the next gate. If we can just move because we're getting webbed to death. We can always use MWD if we want to go a bit quicker. There was Loki before him, he didn't seem to be wanting to go to the next wave. Oh, I should claim rewards. This is important to claim rewards. Very silly of me not to do that. But you won't get the rewards here if you don't claim them. It used to be that automatically claimed. I don't know why they changed it to manually having to claim it. My guess is it deters bots. The challenges we've got now is to take out a battleship. And also, if you're more an exploration type of person, you can do these scan down and enter Tetramon network node or hub data sites. So it seems like the data sites as well. I haven't done them so far, so I don't know too much about that. But it's definitely something that seems like it's possible for the exploration people. Okay, here we've got Oracle. This guy needs to go down fast because he's going to rip our Gecko to pieces. Even though our Gecko has so much HP, this guy shows no mercy. Okay, Gecko, go for him. But it seems like this could be a good option if you have nothing else to do, or there's no sites around, or you could maybe even have a ship that has both of them. Have a data analyzer on your ship with a Torpedo Launcher. You could maybe then scan sites while you're doing them here. Then you just do them straight away afterwards. Only problem is that if you scan sites and don't do them straight away, probably other people are going to take them. Okay, let's go for this curse because it's not in range of our torpedoes. 24 kilometers only on these torpedoes. It's also got some cool background here. See, it's slightly different. Come on, Gecko, take him out. Take this curse out. He's pretty tanky, this curse. I've not checked the drops. They could potentially drop good drops, but I've only been focusing on the bosses because they usually are the most profitable enemies. And also, I've just been trying to get these sites done as quick as possible, so I can get those rewards as quick as possible. So I've not been focusing on fully looting everything. Sometimes these kind of small NPCs can drop skins, and they can drop boosters, and they can drop small ISK rewards. But it's usually also almost always been in EVE history that they're not very close at all to the boss. Okay, so this is the last room with this station. We'll close in on the boss usually, or we can stay around here. We can just move out a little bit so we're not in the warp-in point, or 0 on the warp-in point. Okay, let's grab the Gecko. I've got 2 oracles, need to be slightly careful. These guys, they're not going to show no mercy to our drones. Oh, the Gecko managed to one-shot one of these frigates. Crucifies. Okay, we'll go for the remote armor repair, or remote shield booster. Volleys, yeah, those big volleys. Because these guys decided, oh, you know what, I'm going to just annihilate your drone. Even though it's a Gecko with like 10k EHP. No chance. Unless I take these, there's like no chance for this Gecko unless I take immediate action towards these oracles. So yeah, like he's almost lost his shields. Like this guy, how much shields does he have? Shields 6k HP. I think it's because he probably does EM damage as well, because he's got 0% EM resist. What is his damage type? EM, yeah, that's probably the reason. See, this guy is so tanky and just lost his shield straight away. Just one NPC, it's just one NPC, it's not even like multiple NPCs. I can understand, you know, you have a whole swarm of NPCs, just one NPC is enough, just, okay, just wrecks him. I've got the remote shield booster too. But our remote shield booster is not so effective at this range though, so it's not going to be a very good measure of defense. You can see it's got 18 kilometer range within optimal 7.25. To be honest, we should be fighting a bit closer. And we probably should have had like a large shield booster that has a better range. Destroyed. Maybe return in orbit, because we need to be in shield boost range so we can give him more shields to the Gecko. He needs more juice. Okay, a bunch of frigates. I find that usually on the 3rd wave, boss spawns in. This is the 2nd one. And I like to take out the big stuff, because funny enough, the big stuff is the stuff that's actually able to do damage to our drones. Usually in Evil Line PvE, it's the small stuff that I worry about drone aggro. The problem is these guys, the big stuff here applies really well to my drones, and it's probably because we're using a gecko. It's a very big drone, so they're able to apply well. And the gecko is really tanky, so usually the small stuff, when they try attacking the gecko, it's not going to really be noticeable. But when the big stuff does, they're able to do significant damage. That's when we notice it. Because like when these cruisers as well, these omens, they can also do a lot of damage to our gecko. But the oracles, oh, they're no joke. Like this omen, take him out. I just love how the gecko is able to one-shot these crucifiers. It's so satisfying. I didn't know I was able to one-shot them, because yesterday I didn't see that there were any one-shots going on in terms of the crucifiers, or the frigates at least. But it can if it gets a good shot. It's going to miss a lot of the time, and it takes a bit of time for it to get to the target, but when it hits, oof, that one-shot is nice. Something that I think would be really great for this site is probably a Kronos. Kronos would have very good stats for this. It's got a good range. Like the Kronos has not got a long range, but it's got really high DPS and relatively good tracking for a battleship. This is a very good range for battleship blasters. You'd be doing so much damage to them. We would probably do these sites so much quicker than this Rattlesnake. Just the reason is I don't feel like taking the Kronos because they're very expensive, and they're going to attract a lot more gankers because of them being expensive, just because of it being a marauder, because marauders are usually equipped a lot more expensive than pirate battleships, and also that the fact that they've got the bastion module, so it means that they can't move in the case of gankers, so they're sort of stuck there. And also because the Rattlesnake just in general is very easy to put big buffer. You can't really put a big buffer on the Kronos the same way you can on a Rattlesnake. It's made to be active tank, not buffer tank. Come on, give me those one-shots. Give me those one-shots. I'll split the missiles and drones just in case of one-shot so we don't waste torpedoes. I've got Crusader as well. Interceptors. A lot of Tech 2 ships here. We've got Curses, Crusaders. We've got ships that we don't usually see in PvE. Okay, we've got another wave. My guess is that the boss will spawn here. Usually frigates or something comes in first. The boss spawns in later, I believe. The bigger ships had to give it time. I'll recall this drone. Just recall that drone because it's taking a lot of drone aggro from everyone here. Yep, I thought that was the case. We'll stop with these, locking these guys up, and we'll use MWD to get closer. I'm not deploying my drone just yet, just because I want to get aggro, so I don't take a bunch of damage. Okay, now I'll deploy drones. Now this guy goes down pretty quickly when you're using the Rattlesnake with torpedoes. These torpedoes have max damage pretty much. You just absolutely wreck this guy. Just slap this battleship, steamroll him with these torpedoes. And he's webbing as well, so you're going a little bit slow. And you could say that this remote shield booster is not doing much use. A tractor beam could be good to pull in wrecks here. If we were to have someone trying to steal it, we could, when you steal the wreck in itself, you could do that tractor in. I think the MWD is good enough. It would obviously be more secure if you had to have a tractor beam. I can just pull it in so I can close the distance even quicker. Grab this, or walk clone banks. It seems like majority of the sites give like 20-25. That was just an exception. My first one gave 100. Maybe it could be that there's an algorithm that it gives more the first time you do it, so it encourages you to do more. I don't know. More cold iron skin. Ooh. I love these cold iron skins. They're really cool. One of the ships I love in the cold iron skin is actually the Crucifier. I was looking at it the other day because I was considering to use different factional warfare fits for future factional warfare activities, and I think the Crucifier looks really cool on the cold iron skin. But these war clone banks are the main kind of issue you get, and then you get occasional rare drops in terms of skins, and then you can, I think the price of the skin goes down. It wouldn't surprise me if it goes down with this event, and boosters as well. We've got also these exploration sites. You can do data sites. I haven't done them yet. We'll maybe get to it later, but I'm primarily going to be focusing on the combat sites because I think that's the most fun, and it feels very easy to just find combat sites and get points like this because I want to get that 900 soon. So you'll definitely, very likely, you'll be seeing more Crimson Harvest content soon. So that's enough for now. Rattlesnake doing the Crimson Harvest site, fighting for the Blood Raiders. We're fighting for the evil Blood Raiders, but we're just doing it as a double agent, just to get their skins. As soon as we get the skins, we're going to peace out. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something from this, and I hope you have fun doing this Crimson Harvest event. I think it's very fun, very profitable. I was looking forward to this kind of battleship competitions-based event because it was a long time since we had it. If you did enjoy the video or learn something new, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later.